Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our next webinar of the MetaHeritage project, which will be all about investment, about how can we connect culture and capital, which is, of course, a topic that is quite of interest to hopefully many of you. My name is Nina Hoppmann. I'm very glad to welcome you to today's webinar. I'm project manager for the European Clusters Alliance, one of the consortium members of the MetaHeritage project, and I will guide you through the session today. This is our sixth webinar that we have in our webinar series, where we discuss different support networks that are available for businesses in Europe, and of course also the question of investment and what kind of available sources and also support could be available in this area was one of the topics that was of the agenda. And we're very happy to discuss this topic today together with you. And we also have very interesting people with us who are going to present today. And we will welcome Jacopo Losa, the General Director of the European Business Angel Network, to discuss with us what are business angels and what kind of investments they do. Then we're very happy to have the unique example of a heritage fund that is provided by Mundi Ventures with us, Maria del Mar Alonso, who's Director at Mundi Ventures and partner in the Mundi Heritage Fund. Many thanks for being with us as well. And from our project team, Eliane van Brantegem, you need to pronounce that correctly for me, who is a project manager at Crusoe, who is going to present the activity from MetaHeritage that will be related to investment, which is our pitching showcase and the call that is currently open, where you will have the chance to submit your project ideas to be included in the pitching showcase to investors. And of course, we also want to hear your questions. So please raise any questions that you have in the chat directly. You can also already make use of it now. Write a welcome, say where you're coming from, where you're writing from, to start getting connected. You can also, if you want to ask a question in person, just raise your hand and we will get you in the conversation as well. But please also note that the webinar is being recorded for playback so that it will be available after the event itself. I see the first people writing in the chat as well. So good morning from Portugal. That's great to see. Everybody feel free to put that in. We have one question for you before we start with Jacopo to give the presentation that I would like to ask you. So if you like, please join us at slido.com #investment, or you can just scan the QR code here on screen. And that will get you to a question so that we can just get a little bit of a feeling of your experience in this area. So our question that we would like to address to you, to the audience, is what is your experience with private investors? So with business angels, with venture capital funds, etc. Is there any experience that you already have? Have you already pitched for investors? Are you preparing? Have you secured investment already? Do you not have any experience yet? Okay, first of all, every answer is represented, so you have a different mix of experience also here in the audience. Please keep voting and let us know about your experience. And now they have no experience yet is currently the most voted answer. So you will get some insights today into what is possible, what kind of ways you can look into. Thanks. So this is the most voted answer, but we also have somebody in the audience who's already secured investment, who's already pitched, or who's preparing to seek investment. So your questions and comments will also be very much appreciated. And a second question, and then we will already go to our first speaker, is what is for you the biggest challenge in attracting private investment for your heritage innovation? Is it providing market potential? Is it finding investors who are actually interested? Is it developing a scalable business model? Is it balancing impact and financial returns? So the lack of investment knowledge, or of course, it can be other barriers that you can specify in the chat in case none of this is actually the one that you think is your biggest challenge. You can also let us know in the chat. Finding investors for now is actually a big topic. Balancing impact and financial returns is a challenge, and also the lack of investment knowledge. Great, so thank you for those answers. Very interesting. And with that, I will directly hand over the floor to our first speaker to dive into the topic. Jacopo Losso, the Director General of EBAN, the European Business Angel Network. Welcome and thanks for being with us.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me, and great pleasure to be with you this afternoon. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the investor landscape in general when you're a startup, and who is capable to fund your project in different stages of its development and growth. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about the world we represent, which is the industry of the angel investors, so the folks that are investing in the earlier stages of the company as private individuals. And then I'll give you some practical tips on how to fundraise, especially since we saw the graphic that there's quite a lot of you here today that haven't yet approached fundraising, or maybe have had just very little exposure to those concepts. So try to cover all of this in roughly 10-15 minutes, if I understand. So
yes,
so thank you. So many thanks, and I'll get the slides now up and running. There we go. Put them in full screen. Just bear with me a second. If you have questions, I'll try to go relatively quick so we can try to make time at the end for them. But I'm not seeing so much the chat or the screen, so sorry if I don't pick those up as you log them in.
I can address them to you then.
Cool. So my name is Jacopo, as I was saying, I'm Director General of EBAN. And EBAN is a network that groups business angel clubs all over Europe. We started EBAN in 1999, initially as a movement to spread and divulge and raise awareness about angel investing. But nowadays, we're very much a network of networks. Our members are clubs of investors. They're located all over Europe, and not only. We have more than 120 of them, and here are many of the logos of our members. And there are
Sorry, Jacopo, we cannot see the presentation yet. So
really? Okay, let's try it again.
Just hit this share button.
Sorry about that. Let's try this again.
No problem.
There we go. Do you see it now?
Perfect. Thanks.
All right. Super. So our members are typically clubs of investors. They are usually angel associations, groups of folks that invest in startups, and they're usually organized either at a city level or sometimes at a national, countrywide level. And our members are basically the actors that coordinate matchmaking between startups in a given city or region that are fundraising with an audience of private investors that collectively invest in startups. So typically angels, they co-invest with each other as a good strategy to diversify risk and to build up a better portfolio. So it's very rare to find just a very deep-pocketed angel that invests on their own all of the money a startup is looking for. Normally, the typical form is to find a syndicate, a group of, a handful of individuals that collectively kind of team up and invest in a startup. Anyways, about EBAN, we do three main things. So as a non-for-profit association and as a membership-driven association, we're here mostly to do activities for the members that are either giving them connections, networking opportunities, or also knowledge sharing, learning opportunities, and finally, advocacy representation related opportunities. So we are basically, on one hand, the trade body and the voice of the industry towards the policymakers, and hence why we're headquartered in Brussels. But we're also very much a community that helps angels become more professional, more interconnected, and ultimately, we hope, more successful in their careers as investors. What is an angel investor? Who are they? So we're talking about a person, an individual investor, somebody investing their own money that is bringing value beyond the capital they invest. Otherwise, they wouldn't deserve this kind of fancy title, angel investor. So they're a smart investor, meaning they're able to add value to the company beyond just their capital. And usually that value tends to be either industry sector specific know-how, mentoring, advising, etc., the founders of the company with a knowledge about that industry that they have, directly built up, and or the connections and the introductions they can make to a startup, for example, to potential clients, or for example, to talent the company might be lacking, or for example, to other investors that could put more money in the company as it requires it to grow. And usually a business angel tends to be either a founder, an exited entrepreneur, so a person that built up their own company back in the day, that did very well with it, they made a lot of money with it, they sold the company, or maybe have kind of found a different role in the company, that they're not full-time there anymore, and they are reinvesting that wealth and all of that experience and those network connections in the next generation of entrepreneurs. Most angels have either that profile, or they have the profile of being a corporate, somebody that had a very successful career in a big corporation, in a multinational. It could be also somebody that has had a good professional career, maybe as a lawyer or as a consultant. But anyways, they have that wealth on one side, so they have money, and they have also some market competences and connections to bring and to share with you. So I think that's very important for founders to understand, that basically not all money is the same. You have some people that are just giving you funding, some other people are giving you a lot of other super valuable things that you will need to successfully grow your business. So keep that in mind. Angels are usually the first professional investors a startup will find. Why? Because investing their own money, they can decide to take a lot more risk. And investing in early stage companies is extremely, extremely risky. So about 75% of startups don't make it past their 5th year of life, meaning 75% of any projects, be it a culture and heritage project, or be it a project in deep tech, or be it a project in life sciences, it's all very risky because you have not yet proven that whatever you're doing works and it satisfies a need in the market that many, many people are willing to pay for. So most of the times angels are investing in a moment where the risk is very high and the proof that the company and what they're doing is good is still very much unproven. And they tend to pick that spot, that sweet spot, because that's actually where they can add most value as investors to the companies they invest in. Angels are then usually followed by a variety of other actors that invest other people's money in startups, and therefore they need to be a little bit more careful with what they do with that money to not lose it and to give it back to those people they received it from with a good return. So normally seed capital VCs, or just traditional VCs, the public markets, but also private equities and other kind of institutional investors, they come in later when the company has already proven that whatever it is doing works. It is preferably already generating some nice sales, and all of a sudden the investment becomes a little bit less risky to make and a little bit more comfortable for also those kinds of actors. Here's how angels help. They're giving mostly advice to companies. So we did a sample survey on angels that have 20 or more startups invested in their portfolio. And I can tell you, for many people, it's very much of hands-on, not full-time job, but still keeping you busy pretty much all the time every month. And you usually stay busy as an angel by mentoring and giving advice to your founders in the scope of whatever is the need that the founders have. And that need can kind of change. It could be maybe a fundraising related need, or it could be more of an operational related need, or it could be maybe a connection or some kind of introduction that they need you to make to a potential customer that they think you know. So there's a lot of that kind of role that you play as an angel. And then there's a lot of other roles you play really specific to a given moment of the startup's life, and also specific with what kind of help you can give. So operational contributions, some angels like to roll up their sleeves and kind of help the founder team. Maybe it's with sales, maybe it's with tech development. Some people also do that. Some angels sit on the board of the company, so they get busier, whenever there are board meetings to attend. Other angels are more helpful in your fundraising journey, meaning they can call other angels or other VCs to look at your company as it requires more funding to continue its growth. So there's a lot of different things that angels do, but here the main message is they're active. They tend to be active and involved in your company, and that's why they merit that title as an investor. And yes, without many angels funding you in your early days or giving you the help and the connections you're lacking, a lot of good companies wouldn't exist nowadays, and that's just the cold reality. Here's how the angel market looks like in Europe. So this is based on our statistics. We're showing 2024 numbers. In the meantime, we collect last year's figures, but it's basically the graphic, even if the numbers are small. The more the color is towards the red, the more the market for angel investors is large. So the UK, Germany, France being kind of the top three places to fundraise from angels, and then other countries around Europe, they show a little bit of a different picture. So depending if you are in a more developed startup ecosystem, you tend to also find a much more vibrant and large community of investors, including angels, but also including VCs. And the less your ecosystem is developed, also the less money in town you will find, which means you as a founder, you might not have the luxury to fundraise from people close to you. You might need to move your company and travel and set it up in some other country where you have a lot better access to investment. Graphic on the left just illustrates a little bit how the angel world invests. First of all, it's a market that invested in 2024 about 1.2 billion in startups, over 4,500 funding rounds made. Top three sectors being enterprise software, fintech, and health. Angels represent about half of the money that goes to startups in seed stage, with the other half being represented mostly by the VC industry, and very little of it is actually crowdfunding related. And on the top right of the graphic, more on the left, you see a bit the average amounts angel investors invest, be it individually or be it in syndicates. These are just figures to give you a ballpark understanding of the kind of investors in front of you. Here's what angels like to look for in culture tech startups, but I would say in all the startups, these are very common points. So first of all, when we invest, and we invest in such early stages, we're really investing in the people and in the team. So there's a huge consideration that investors make on the people in the company. Are they passionate about the problem or the solution they're developing? Because that really transmits to us that this is a group of determined and resilient founders that are never going to give up because they're really passionate about what they're doing. But it's also very much to understand if the team is competent. Do they know the industry they're operating in? Have they worked in this market before? Are they skill set wise people that complement each other? Are they people that can be coached, and are good listeners? So there's a lot of things you try to get to the bottom of to understand if the people are the right thing to be betting on in this specific phase of their development, which is, very early. So there's not much sales, there's not much data to prove that there's a good product market fit. And it's really all about the people, their vision, and the skill sets and the market competences they bring to the company. And I would say super important for everybody to understand when you want to invest is the startup doing something unique? Is it something that nobody else can do easily? Can the competition catch up to us? Are we having some intellectual property that is protecting our uniqueness factor in the company? So it's a big thing to understand, because if you are different and if you are doing things that are difficult to copy and they provide an end solution which your customers prefer, you might have something here that is going to become really powerful. You might have a business case here that might be a very good investment opportunity for us. So transmitting and communicating what is unique about your product or how you service your market is a crucial aspect to getting an investor interested in you, beyond just showing that you have a good team that is really passionate about what they're doing. And then I would say we like to invest in large growing markets. So startups that are servicing industries that give you potential upside and give you a potential, let's say, share of that market is something we're looking for. We don't like to invest in startups that are solving very small problems that are very much typical to a city, but we like to invest in startups that are ideally addressing, an issue or an industry that is, globally present, or at least present in the continent you're based in, and it's a large and growing market. So we look for that because it goes hand in hand with the kind of return we can make on our investment. And, as investors, we are here to invest and make some money out of it, not just to be good philanthropists and helpful to the entrepreneur. So we want to exit our investment in the next 5 to 10 years, make a good return on it, and as angels and the best ones always like to be involved and helpful to the company. So we like to understand if there is even any room for us to help you out to justify if we should invest or not. So these are like 5 big things that all entrepreneurs need to keep in mind, because these are the things that really resonate well with us as investors. A couple of quick tips on where to find these investors. So you can find them really in a variety of places. A lot of the times they come to conferences and events dedicated to startups or dedicated to a specific industry. So I'm sure there's a lot of culture and creativity related events all over Europe you could go to. And the benefit of that is investors flock there. You can do a lot of meetings with investors in those events, and often you get also a nice place to be seen. So you have a stand, maybe you're pitching your company on stage, and it just gives you good exposure. But it is a little bit time consuming and resource heavy. So pick your events wisely and make sure they are the ones where you will find a relevant audience of investors for you. Second and third, I think, are the easiest ones to do, and they're the ones that you can do any day of the week, any hour of the day, which is figuring out who are the right investors for you that are interested in your same industry. And nowadays, you can even use AI, Claude, ChatGPT, and similar to do that basic market mapping and research of who are the investors that should be interested in your company because they already invest in that same industry, in that same market. And then the second thing you can do is, once you've found who are those investors, you can see who are the companies they invested in. And maybe you know somebody in common. You might know that founder that got money from that investor, and maybe that founder can do a nice warm introduction for you. I would say use those warm introductions because they kind of are your fast track to being seen by an investor, and somebody will pay a lot more attention to a referral coming from somebody they know and trust, other than just a cold email coming in your LinkedIn inbox or in your email inbox asking for money. And I think the last bit is, if you still are far away from being ready with your idea, take advantage of all the great incubator and accelerator programs out there, including also the programs led by corporates, led by open innovation programs, led by EU-funded projects, and make use of all of those learning opportunities to perfect what you're doing, and then to also get exposure to investors, because believe it or not, a lot of these entities will have an invested interest to help get you in front of the next investor. So these are my tips. Here's what IBAN can do to help you. We have mostly events to help, where we organize pitching competitions at our 2 annual events, but we also do a lot of things online. We have a lot of different EU-funded projects, which also offer founders pitching opportunities or workshops or master classes and all of the things that will help you kind of be accelerated to become investment ready and then be showcased in front of the right people. And if you're looking for a place to find investors, you can definitely use our membership directory. And here I would say try to approach investors that are closer to you, geographically speaking, because a lot of the times as angels, we tend to invest more locally than internationally. That's that, and I hope this was of interest. And I don't know if there's any time for questions, but thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak.
Thank you very much, Jacopo, for this very great overview and also the useful tips. I haven't seen any questions in the chat so far, but I just to make also the connection back to the cultural heritage sector where the MetaHeritage is moving itself, where maybe you can just as a follow-up question, how do you evaluate the potential of Angel's interest in this sector?
Well, it comes all back to this. It really comes back all to this, and I think here it's the market opportunity. Some angels come from the creative industries sector. Maybe they had their own business in the day in this domain, and I think a lot of the angels that don't know the sector really want to understand how big is the market and the client base and the customer base that you're trying to service. Is it big enough? Are we talking about solutions that can be sold to millions of people or millions of companies around the world or not? So I think there's like one big thing for founders to do whenever they're pitching to an investor that is not so knowledgeable on the creative industries is to be really good at talking about the market opportunity and why the market is moving towards that domain. And then, like I was saying, it's very important for an investor to know that they're betting on the right people that have not just a clear idea of what they want to do, but they're actually market veterans themselves. So ideally, you would be backing a founder that has already X years of experience in the creative industries domain, be it because they were working in a company in that domain, or maybe they did already one or two successful startups in that domain, and they kind of know what they're doing in this industry. So I would say like it comes back very much to these points. And I think, a lot of the times the USP is a big factor as well. Like how easy is the thing you're doing? How easy is it to get copied? I would say like all of those factors are important for us to judge. And, one of the things all investors look for is this kind of way to make money on the investment in the next, say, 5 to 10 years. So if you're a startup, I think you need to keep that in mind that the people that will be investing in you, one, are here just, to make some money out of their investment, and two, they have a timeline to make that money. So we're going to be patient, but we're not going to be waiting for many decades to see our money come back, which means if we're not convinced that your startup is scalable, like the solution you have can be sold to hundreds in day one, to thousands in day two, and to millions in day three, it's not going to be very convincing for us to invest. We want to make sure we're investing in something that will be a global company one day, or at least servicing a global market and doing that relatively soon. So in the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you. First of all, thanks, Jacopo and Maria del Mar. Maria del Mar, you know that I'm from Galicia, so when I hear and see the projects and the ideas that you have in my region is great. So thank you for the presentation. And well, my name is Eliane van Brantegem. I'm part of Crusoe, which is a network of universities in the southwest of Europe, and Crusoe is based in Galicia. I'm part of the MetaHeritage project, and within the numerous activities that we have, we want to organize a pitching showcase. So we are organizing. So I wanted to tell you what it is, when, how, and how to participate. Next slide, please. We will do this pitching showcase in collaboration with Ivan. So Jacopo is working with us, and in collaboration of European EEN. and in collaboration with Galician regional authorities. So what is this pitching showcase? Is an investment readiness and matchmaking event that will help us identify high potential projects and everything that is related with digitalization in cultural heritage and tourism, and show these projects to investors and innovation partners. What we want is, we have someone that has a good idea, he doesn't know how to develop this idea and go further from this idea, and help them to prepare that idea, to make it sellable, let's say it like that, and present it to investors. Okay, next slide, please. I'm going a little bit quick because I know we're limited. So what kind of ideas are we looking for? We want ideas that are related with innovation and digitalization in cultural heritage and tourism, okay? So it has to be ideas that enhance, preserve, interprets, or commercialize these fields. Anybody, almost all entities are eligible. I mean, SMEs, startups, cultural heritage, entities that are related with the field, of course, museum, heritage sites. And the priority themes that we have established are related with a study that we did within MetaHeritage, in which we studied the priorities, the smart specialization priorities of all the region, and then we established that wine, historic houses, wellness, cycling, hiking, metaverse, and immersive technologies should be part of the thematics. And regarding the technologies that we expect to receive, everything that is related with digitalization will work. So 3D, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, digital twins. Next one, please. I'm going a little bit quick because we're now limited. Yeah. Why participate? It is important to know that this is an event that does not guarantee a funding. I mean, if an entity wants to present their pitch, they will. I will tell you how to do it after. They will go through a process in which we will help them to evolve that idea and to be ready to be presented to investors. Okay, so what are you going to get as someone that is going to submit your idea? Well, you're going to improve the investment pitch. You're going to receive an expert feedback. You're going to increase visibility. We're going to increase visibility with investors and innovation actors. We're going to help you clarify the business model, and there will be also instructions after the event. Okay. For MetaHeritage, of course, as we work, MetaHeritage's main goal is to unite all digital, cultural heritage and tourism actors. Of course, this is a great event to unite everything and maybe help find new ideas to make evolve this field. You can go next one, please. Yeah. So how is this organized? We launched a call on the 10th of June. So maybe Nina, you can put the link on the chat. The call will be available until the 7th of August. And next week we organize a pitch training workshop. So if you have an idea and you don't have any idea of how to do a pitch, please join the event. Okay, it will be the 2nd of July. We will put the two links on the chat as well. After the 7th of August, there will be an evaluation period in which a jury, which is composed of tourism experts, cultural heritage experts, investors, and I3 experts, will, with a common evaluation tool, decide which projects are more interesting, and we will pre-select 10 projects. These 10 SMEs or entities will have to will participate in a dry run pitch that will be between the 16th and the 18th of September. And in this dry run pitch, they will do a tete-a-tete with an investor, in which investor will tell them, hey, your pitch is not right, you're missing this, in order to perfectionate that pitch. And on the 5th of October, they will be able to present their pitching in front of investors. Okay. The deadline to apply is on the 7th of August, so do not hesitate to go on those links and present your pitch. Next one, please. So what we will, the call, what presents is we need information, of course, of the person that is applying, your idea, and the most important part is present your pitch deck, follow the information that is presented on the call, and you have to upload a 10-page slide, and yeah, and good luck. Maybe your idea goes further. Thank you.
Many thanks, Eliane, for this quick overview. I have put the link in the chat to the call for the pitching session so that all of you can read through the call text and see all the details on, of course, what kind of ideas are we looking for, what kind of sectors, what kind of entities can apply, and of course, so you can slowly read through the roadmap that Eliane has showed you to finally get to the pitching session that we're going to have with investors. So it's a great opportunity if you're thinking about looking into private investment to actually present to investors in an online event. And of course, we invite you to register for the pitching training that will take place next week, so that you can work on your pitch deck as well, and to further develop what your idea and how to present it. Are there any questions on this particular call for Eliane? Or, of course, I understand if you want to read through it first, and you can always, of course, direct your questions at the contact@metaheritage.eu email address. And yeah, I think with that, we have reached the end of our event. Many thanks to all of our great speakers, to Jacopo, to Maria Villemar, to Eliane, to present as well the call. And thanks to all of you for joining. And we hope that you have a great rest of the day and that you have heard some useful information that inspire you to tap into this topic of private investment. So many thanks. Also, thanks for all the positive comments in the chat. I hope that it was interesting and very informative. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.